So with live concerts, ticket holder attendance dips reported for both large performances and club gigs. So people are buying tickets and not showing up to the shows. What do you think that's due to? COVID?
Apparently, it says that. Well, they did. Let's see, it was 40% in the UK. That is super high.
That is, it's crazy.
I think typically this article here from Digital Music News says it's typically about like 1% to 3% of no shows. You know, something happens, you do actually get sick, or your kid gets sick. We had tickets to it was Sebastian Maniscalco. He's a stand-up comedian. Shout out to him. We had tickets to the show, and one of our kids got sick. So like we were being good parents.
Yeah,
we stayed back instead of like, you know, just telling her stay in your room. And the babysitter will just take care of the other two. But that is super high. So it's obviously not just from like 40% of people all of a sudden getting sick one weekend. Likely due, it says the UK government announces Plan B COVID-19 restrictions. Now that's a little vague. Now, I'm sure since we said COVID-19 in the video, you'll get some notice from YouTube telling you to go look at their official resources and whatnot, which by all means, go look at them so YouTube doesn't take our videos down. Or if they do, I mean, who cares? But that's not good for musicians. Look, we don't want anybody to get sick. And at the same time, I feel you should know enough by now to navigate the landscape if you're in a compromised position, and I don't know how many shots they've told people to take by now. I think it's either 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But if you're in that compromised position, kind of just is what it is. I don't know what else to tell people by now. So we're in Georgia, for just so people know. It seems like every state in the United States is a different country still. And pretty much we've been living life down here. At least I have. I don't, maybe I've just been frolicking around and like everybody else has been in terror.
Yeah.
But it's probably accurate to say the better part of a year we've been living life in Georgia and Florida and Tennessee. Like the South, a good chunk of the South has kind of been operating differently.
Yeah.
Some parts up north are kind of like a hybrid. Like I think PA is kind of like a hybrid place. But then you have New York or California, which is totally different.
Yep.
So it didn't specify. Was this 40% across all of the UK, or like 20% across all of the US? Or I wonder where they're grabbing this data from. That's where I have another question.
Yeah.
Where are these no-show rates specifically? Where are they the highest? So this could just be a headline, and I have further questions into this headline. I would be surprised if this were like a across the United States sort of deal. Could be. But I just don't see 1 out of 5 people in all of the United States, especially like in Georgia.
Right.
Like people are, I know this week, we're filming this on Christmas week. I don't know when it's going to come out, but I can be pretty sure that there's a bunch of people traveling down to Florida right now, as they have been for over the past 2 years.
Yep.
And those people, and they're coming from everywhere. Let's just be honest. They're coming from New York and California and everywhere else. And people are vacationing there because it's open.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if the people who are like going to these vacation destinations, even people are coming to Atlanta a lot over the pandemic. I'd be surprised if the no-show rate was just as high in Atlanta and Miami as it is everywhere else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if anybody has further insights on that data, feel free to drop it. I actually do want to take a look. Not, trying to start some comment thing. I just want to take a look.
Yeah.
It says here, small clubs and theaters have no-show rates sometimes as high as 25 to 30%. And that's digging into like their costs, because those smaller venues rely on the food and beverage sales a lot. And like if you do sell the tickets for the artists and like 25% of them aren't showing up, that's a heavy hit because you're hiring your people, and you were already hit pretty hard over the last couple of years. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I wonder, is it like people buying the tickets before a restriction comes out, and then like all of a sudden a restriction hits, and like, no, you can't get your money back or something? Like, is that what's happening? Seriously, like what? That's a very high percentage.
Yeah.
So it's a bummer for those venues. If you guys are one of those venues looking for marketing advice, man, it's kind of nothing you can tell them if there's like I'm not going to tell people to go revolt. So I can't say that on here. So that's not what we're saying. But yeah, man, it stinks.
Would you recommend somebody get into that space right now, just in terms of, events and venues?
If you get a good deal, if you get a crazy good deal, but the real estate has not been dropping. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Real estate hasn't been going down.
Yeah.
If you got a good deal and you were just going to kind of ride out the next year, it depends on where you're going to buy it.
Yeah.
I would not buy a single piece of property. I'm not setting foot in New York or California right now. I know a lot of people would. That's fine. You do you. But there's a reason I live in Georgia right now, so I wouldn't. And the cost of the real estate there, like even though California had the net negative population growth for the first time in like who knows how long, the real estate didn't dip. So I don't know where all those buyers are really coming from. I think people are still trying to figure that out a little bit, but there was so much money printed last year that I think people might have just been borrowing, and then they just got those properties just to possibly take them away from all the people who couldn't leverage as much.
Yeah.
I have heard that one. I'll call it a conspiracy theory, but probably true. The thing that you find out with after like 6 months to a year is like, that wasn't a conspiracy theory. That was just like what they were doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there could be a concerted effort to take up a lot of the real estate from would-be home buyers. So there's a little nugget for y'all, just something to chew on. A little bit different of an episode, but hey, feel free to drop a comment with your thoughts. We'd love to hear.
Yeah, it is.